It was a quiet Thursday evening when Emily stood up from the couch, stretched her arms, and said casually, "I'm just going for a walk." I barely looked up from my laptop, distracted by deadlines and emails, and simply mumbled, "Okay, don't be long." That was the last time I ever saw her. At first, I didn't think much of it. Emily often went on short walks in the evening. It was her way of unwinding, especially after long hours working from home. But when an hour passed, and the sun dipped below the horizon, I started to grow uneasy. Her phone didn't ring, it went straight to voicemail. That was unlike her. Emily always carried her phone, always replied quickly, even during her walks. 2 hours passed. I walked through our neighborhood, calling her name, checking all the usual spots, the nearby park, the cafe at the corner, even the small library she liked. Nothing, no sign, no answer. By midnight, I had called the police. "She's an adult," the officer said calmly. "Maybe she just needed space." "No," I insisted. "She didn't take her wallet, keys, or even a jacket. It was only a short walk. Something's wrong." They filed a report, but I could feel it. The system wasn't built for urgency, unless you screamed louder. So I screamed, online. I posted photos of her everywhere. I built a thread that went viral. People across the city began to share it, but Emily didn't return. Not the next day, not the next week. Then strange things started happening. One morning, I found her necklace on the doorstep. It was the one I'd gifted her for her birthday last year. It had been around her neck when she left. I was sure of it. My hands trembled as I picked it up. There was no note, no explanation, just the necklace, placed delicately, as if someone or something wanted me to know she was still out there. Then came the dreams. In them, Emily was running through a forest, always the same forest, with crooked trees and thick fog that swallowed sound. She would look back at me, eyes wide with terror, and mouth words I couldn't hear. Then a shadow would fall, and she'd vanish. I tried to brush it off as grief, as trauma. But then something happened that made me question everything. A week after her disappearance, I received a letter. It had no return address. The handwriting on the envelope was Emily's. Inside was a single photograph. It showed her, standing in that same foggy forest, her eyes wide and lips parted as if caught mid-scream. Behind her stood a tall, twisted figure, barely visible through the mist. Its limbs were too long to thin, and its face, if you could call it that, was nothing but darkness. On the back of the photo, in the same handwriting, were 4 words, "Don't look for me." But how could I not? I began researching the forest. From the dream, I recognized the shape of certain trees and the odd bend of the earth. A few clicks online led me to Graywood, a forest 50 miles outside the city, infamous for disappearances, hikers, campers, even hunters gone without a trace over the last 20 years. Most cases were dismissed as misadventures or animal attacks. But the stories online on the dark forums, the obscure Reddit threads, spoke of something else. Something that lived in the forest. Something that called people in and didn't let them go. I knew I shouldn't, but I had to go. Graywood was worse than I imagined. The trees were unnaturally still. The air felt heavy, like breathing through wet cloth. As I ventured deeper, my compass spun in circles, and the GPS on my phone turned to static. But I kept going, following some invisible instinct, like Emily's presence was guiding me. Then I found the cabin. It sat in a clearing, half-rotted, leaning like it might fall over at any second. But the door creaked open, and inside was what I feared and hoped to find. Photos. Dozens of them, all pinned to the walls. All of people who'd gone missing. And in the center, on a cracked wooden table, lay a bundle wrapped in cloth. I unfolded it slowly. Emily's journal. My hands shook as I flipped through it. The entries began weeks before she disappeared. "I keep dreaming about the forest. It calls to me, whispers to me through the window at night. Last night, I walked in my sleep. When I woke up, my feet were muddy. Something's coming. I can feel it. I don't know if I can resist it anymore." The final entry read, "If I don't come back, tell him I'm sorry. I love him, but I have to go." Suddenly, a low creaking noise echoed behind me. I turned, heart hammering, and there she stood, Emily. But not the Emily I knew. Her skin was pale, eyes sunken, like she hadn't seen sunlight in years. Her lips parted, but no sound came out. Then slowly, she lifted a trembling hand and pointed to the journal. I stepped forward, tears in my eyes. "Emily, Is it really you? She shook her head slowly, then pointed behind me. I turned. The figure from the photo was there, taller now, closer, real. I grabbed the journal and ran. Branches tore at my clothes. The forest twisted around me, paths vanishing, trees moving, but I didn't stop. I ran until my legs gave out and I collapsed on a roadside, barely conscious. A truck driver found me the next morning. I was bruised, bleeding, and muttering Emily's name over and over again. Back home, no one believed me. They said trauma can make the mind see things, that I imagined the whole thing. But I know what I saw. I still have her journal. And sometimes when I read it, I hear the whispers she wrote about. I see movement at the edges of the trees near my apartment, though I live far from any forest. Last week, another letter arrived. Same handwriting, no return address. This one just said, "It's your turn now."